Okay, so welcome everybody to the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. This we are in, I believe this is the 79th or the 80th class. So this chapter is titled Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, and we are most of the way through this chapter. So, okay. As usual, we would like to acknowledge Swami Paramarthananda Saraswati for the traditional rendering of Vedanta as it was done for over 1,000 years, starting with Adi Shankaracharya. We'll say a small prayer. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Bande Guru Paramparam. Salutations to the lineage starting with Lord Sadashiva, with Adi Shankaracharya in the middle, and continuing to our immediate teacher, Swami Paramarthananda Saraswati. Okay. So last time we left off at this. So Bhagavan is now entering the final portion. So he's going to talk about bhakti now. So and he's talked about swadhyaya. So these shlokas, he's summarizing karma yoga, jnana yoga, and bhakti. So karma yoga is being summarized now. So we've saw till 45, and he's talking about swabhava, that is your innate nature, that is what are your duties that come from your innate nature. So he talks about the duties of a brahmana. That's not a jati brahmana, not from birth, but it is brahmana by the gunas, kshatriya, vaishya, and shudra. So this is what we saw, and then Bhagavan concludes this by saying, Sve sve karmanya viratah samsiddhim labate narah swakarma nirata siddhim yatha vindati tachrunu. Sve sve karmani, being devoted to one's own duty, one attains perfection. Abhiratah means devoted. Ramati means to delight. So, and here karma yoga, to convert karma into karma yoga. That's what Bhagavan says. Being devoted to one's own duty, the person attains the highest perfection. Samsiddhim means total perfection. Swakarma nirata siddhim yata vindati tachrunu. Swakarma, being engaged in one's own duty. Swakarma nirataha, fully engaged in one's own duty. Swakarma is one's own duty. Nirataha means fully engaged in how a person attains siddhi, perfection. Yatha vindati, vindati means attains. Tat shrunu, how a person attains perfection. That shrunu means listen to me now. And then Bhagavan goes, these are some of the most beautiful shlokas. Yata pravrittir bhutanam yena sarpamitam tatam swakarpana tamapyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. Okay. Checking. All right. So worshipping with one's own duty, that from which all beings have evolved, by which all this universe is pervaded, a person attains perfection. That is worshipping that from which all beings have evolved, and that which pervades everything. That is the Brahman, right? From Brahman, remember what is God? So it's Brahman and Maya come together, and Brahman makes the Maya's unmanifested matter. Maya's literally Maya, it's nothing. So Brahman comes and manifests this Maya as the universe. So that from which all beings have evolved. So it is because of Brahman. Maya itself can do nothing, it's empty. And Bhagavan, because of the Maya, Bhagavan creates this universe. that from which all beings have evolved. Yata pravrittir bhutanam. Pravritti means evolve, born. Vritti, pravritti means it's just evolving, from which all beings have evolved. Bhutanam, all beings. Yena, that by which sarvamidam tatam, which tatam means pervade, by which all this universe is pervaded. Swakarmanatam apyarcha, that is how worshipping that, apyarcha means worshipping, how worshipping that by which all, from which all beings have evolved, by which all the universe is pervaded. Siddhim vindati manavaha, worshipping that by which a person attains perfection. That now, listen to me, Bhagavan says. Okay. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swanushtitat swabhavaniyatam karma kurvan apnoti kilpisham. So, this is a very important shloka. Shreyan, better. Swadharmaha, that is one's own duty. Vigunaha, even though improperly, vigunaha means not performed well, devoid of, you shouldn't interpret it as gunas. Viguna here literally means improperly performed, without that good performance. Because in the beginning, when you start any duty, you don't do it well. So Bhagavan says, Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha, better is one's own duty, though improperly performed. Paradharmat anushtitat, then another's duty, anushtitat, well performed. You may like something, and you are kind of, you're seeing your friend doing something cool, and you try to do something. You may get to a certain point, but beyond that you can't advance. Whereas what your true innate duty, that even though it's little difficult in the beginning, let's say a easier thing. So you want to do something. So the kids, right? They want to play basketball, throw a few hoops, all that stuff. They can do that easily. But for that kid's true dharma calling would be as a professor. And this, to become a professor, to teach, you have to study and all that, right? But if the kid thinks, oh, I can play volleyball, basketball, throw a few hoops, it is not the person's dharma. And even though it looks like it's being well performed, it will saturate. Whereas as a if the kid wants to become a teacher or a professor, then the kid has to study. So initially it's difficult, but later it will give sattvika sukham, lot of joy. So Bhagavan says, swabhavaniyatam karma kurvan apnoti kilpisham. Niyatam karma, duty ordained by swabhava, one's own nature. By doing the duty ordained by one's own nature, na apnoti kilbisham, one. Na apnoti, apti means not incurs kilbisham, sin or papam. So swadharma shreyan, this is very important because Arjuna is now trying to change his swadharma. Do you understand? So swabhavaniyatam karma kurvan, take to your profession either in keeping with heredity or keeping with your swabhava inclination, and then do it. Na apnoti kilbisham, and one occurs no sin this way. The normal tendency of a human mind is when it has taken to one type of profession, it starts comparing with another profession. So grass is greener on the other side, right? And it always happens, the other one is better than what I have. And Arjuna is in the same thing. He wants to go to the forest, become a sannyasi. And Bhagavan, so that's the background of this shloka. Bhagavan is trying to tell him, don't run away, you have to fight. Because it is uncomfortable and inconvenient, Arjuna argues with Krishna. And remember, in the second chapter, he says even begging for food is better than killing these people. So, Guru nahatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktum Bhaiksham api kaloke. Shreya, better is bhoktum, eating bhaiksham, bhiksha, begging, food that is begged, api in this world. Atvata kamanstu guru nihaiva bhunjiya bhogan rudira pradiktan. After killing all this, if I enjoy all this material world, it is like eating things tainted or enjoying things tainted with that blood. That is his state. And that's why Bhagavan is now telling him to perform his duty. And Bhagavan, even so, all this is about Swadharma. So Bhagavan is going even deeper. Sahajam karma kaunteya sadhoshamapi natyajet sarparambahi doshena dhumenatnir ivaprataha. The same idea slash shloka is given here. Sahajam karma, duty to which one is born, that is from either gunas or your birth, should not be abandoned, even if it has defects. Sadosham, dosha means a defect. Sadosham means even though if it has defects, not tyajet, it should not be append. Tyajet means should not be append. Tajesi means don't abandon. It's telling to somebody. Tyajet means it should not be abandoned. It's like just Bhagavan is telling. Sarpa rambahi doshena, all and sarva aramba, all undertakings have defects. Just like what Bhagavan is saying, dhumena agni iva avrita, iva, just like dhuma, smoke covering a fire. Agni avrita dhumena. Agni, fire is enveloped by smoke. Agni dhumena avritaha. Fire is enveloped by smoke. So, duty to which one is born can mean jati, by ancestral profession, or gunas. Though Krishna clearly says that the fourfold divisions of society was made by me based on gunas alone, right? Chatur parnyam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagashaha tasya kartaram api mam vidya kartaram apyayam. Fourth chapter. So, but by the Krishna's time, ancestral occupations were already common just because of convenience. Okay, every occupation has its plus and minus points. Seeing the minus points, do not give up your occupation. That's what Bhagavan is trying to say. Sahajam karma natyajet. May you not give up your swadharma, which you were born, which has been born along with you. Whether you're choosing the occupation based on swabhava, whether you're choosing based on heredity, don't abandon. Either way, dharma is born along with you because your swabhava is also born with you. So that is Bhagavan's injunction to Arjuna. Asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma vigataspruhaha naishkarmya sittim paramam sanyasena digacchati. Asakta buddhi sarvatra. And Bhagavan now tells what was the result of this karma yoga way of life. So he is now concluding the karma yoga portion, right? He is telling what is the result. Asakta buddhi sarvatya. That is, buddhi is intellect. With the intellect unattached everywhere, sarvatra everywhere, jitatma, vigata spraha, jitatma, one who has conquered the self. Self refers to the mind-body complex here. Jita Atma, one who has conquered the mind-body complex. You can't conquer consciousness because you are the consciousness, right? So Jitatma here means one who has conquered the mind-body self. Vigata Spruhaha, Spruhaha, like touch, one whose desire for sense objects has Vigataha, disappeared. One who has no desire for sense objects. Naishkarmya Siddhim Paramam. Naishkarmya means actionless. Naishkarmya siddhim, with highest perfection of actionless. Actionless means what? you are doing, but you're unattached to the actions. So it's in the 4th chapter, it says, right, the wise person knows it is the gunas born of Prakriti that is doing the action. Gunakarma bhagayo guna guneshu vartanta iti matva na sajjate tattva viddu mahabhago gunakarma vibhagayo guna guneshu vartanta iti matva na sajjate. This person is not attached. Na sajjate, not attached, because this person knows that it's the gunas which are doing. You are the witness consciousness. So, Naishkarmya Siddhim Paramam, the highest perfection of actionless through renunciation. That is the focus, the topic of the 4th chapter. Jnana Karma Sannyasa, renunciation of actions through the knowledge. Highest perfection of actionlessness through renunciation. Okay, so this is actionlessness. So Jnana Karma Sannyasa. Okay. Jitam, he's referring to all these yogic practices, which how does one conquer the self? Through Karma Yoga, all the Ashtanga Yoga. So we have concluded the Karma Yoga, Shlokas 41 through 49. So last shloka is 49, emphasis with Karma Yoga with emphasis on Swadharma. Understood? Now Bhagavan will present the summary of Jnana Yoga as well and Bhakti in 50 to 66. 50 to 55 is Nididhyasanam, Vedantic meditation, focused Jnana Yoga topic. 56 to 62, Bhakti to sail through Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. And then in the last few shlokas, Bhagavan will say how you should study the Gita, benefits of studying the Gita, which we all want to know about, right? So, and Bhagavan will say that Bhakti Yoga is not a separate sadhana. It covers both Karma and Jnana Yoga. That's why I asked you to go through the Bhakti chapter. Okay, 50th shloka. Siddhim prapto yatha brahma tatapnoti nibodhame samasenaiva kaunteya nishta jnanasya ya para. Just briefly know from me how one siddhim prapto yatha brahma. Siddhim prapta, after attaining perfection. So, samasena eva nibodha. Just briefly know. Samasena eva nibodha means no. Samasena eva means Bhagavan is very briefly going to say. Briefly know. Me means from me. Yatha, how. So, Bhagavan is saying Yatha samasena eva nibodhame. Nibodhame samasena eva should be read as samasena eva nibodhame. Know from me briefly how siddhim praptaha tatha brahma apnoti. Siddhim praptaha, having attained siddhi, perfection, brahma yata tata apnoti, tata brahma apnoti, how one obtains Brahman. And what is the state? Which is the nishta jnanasya ya para. So this is the state of supreme jnanasya para nishta. So which is the state of supreme knowledge. Nishta is like state. Jnanasya para nishta. State or para jnanasya nishta or jnanasya para nishta. What you can use. State of highest knowledge or the highest state of knowledge. Okay, so Krishna's Krishna said, Arjuna, you cannot end your sadhana with karma yoga. You have to go to jnana yoga to attain liberation. Remember the two schools we've always talked about. Karma yoga is like elementary school. Jnana yoga is like high school. So only after high school you can graduate, right? So Bhagavan says this is what he emphasizes. After attaining perfection, after doing the karma yoga practice, then how one attains Brahman, which is the highest state of knowledge. So once you get the highest state of knowledge, you automatically attain Brahman. Understood? Bhagavan very clearly emphasizes that it is not karma yoga which is going to take to liberation. But Arjuna's look at Krishna is so strange that when he was speaking about these 4 points of consciousness, he seems to think that he has not heard it before. Then only Krishna remembers. So Arjuna has forgotten. Therefore, out of his infinite compassion, without asking the student to write an imposition, in India they used to do this, make the student stand up on the bench and do all those things. Krishna condenses Jnana Yoga in these verses. Arjuna's eyes are blinking, Swamiji would say. So from 50 to 55 is Jnana Yoga condensation. Jnana Yoga consists of 3 stages: Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam. So in these verses, Bhagavan is highlighting the Nididhyasanam part, otherwise called Vedantic meditation. In the Bhagavad Gita, Vedantic meditation has been elaborately discussed previously. In which chapter? Can you tell me? Anybody? Vedantic meditation, which chapter is it discussed elaborately?
Chapter 12.
No, 12 is bhakti. It's not.
Okay.
Anybody?
16th?
No, 16th is not meditation, right? It's Daivasar Sampat. It's about values, remember? Daivasar Sampat, it's values. That's not on meditation.
Chapter 6, Dhyana
Yes,
Yoga?
chapter 6, correct. Chapter 6 is called Dhyana Yoga or Atma Samyama Yoga. So the name itself says. So there are, meditation is again, it straddles. Maybe I have to show this. So, okay. Meditation straddles both Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. The first type of meditation to get your mind focused, dhyana, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, to get the mind still, is called upasana. It falls under Karma Yoga. Some people, dhyana, they take it as a separate yoga, but here Krishna, he kind of lumps, divides this between Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. So the Nididhyasanam part is part of Jnana Yoga. What is Nididhyasanam? Once your mind has attained stability, you can shine it like a torchlight. Otherwise, if your hand is shaking, can you shine light on anything? No. Once the mind has become one-pointed, you try to focus on the nature of the self. How do you do this? When the mind has become very quiet, you see who is the observer. And apparently, when it has become such a state, you will see the oneness of that observer in others as well. So this is called Nididhyasana. It is Vedantic meditation, knowing about the self, how it is connected to the world, understanding everything. For that, the mind has to have stability. Understood? Okay. So then Bhagavan, these 3 shlokas have to be studied together. Buddhya vishuddhaya yuktaha dhrityatmanam niyamya cha shabdadin vishayan tyaktva ragadvesha yudhasya cha vivikta सेवी लग्वाशी यतपाकाय मानसः ध्यानयोगपरो नित्यं वैराग्यं समुपाश्रितः अहङ्कारं बलं दर्पं कामं क्रोधं परिग्रहं विमुच्य निर्ममः शान्तः ब्रह्म भूयाय kalpate. Okay, so first one, buddhya vishuddhaya yuktaha. So jnana yoga consists of three parts. What are the three parts? I just now said. Anybody? I just now said. What are the three parts of jnana yoga? Come, take a guess. I just now said. It's in the previous slide also. Take a guess. Anybody wants to get? What are the three parts? Or how do you get knowledge? Three parts. First is Shravanam, then
Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam.
yes, Shravanam is first listening, Mananam is understanding the meaning, Nididhyasanam is the important part where you are internalizing everything. Okay, so Krishna wants to deal with the Nididhyasanam more than Shravanam and Mananam. Therefore, he presents Shravana and Manana in three words: Vishuddhaya Buddhaya Yuktaha, yoked with a pure understanding. If you have Buddhi here refers to understanding. So Buddhi usually means intellect. Here, yoked with the pure understanding. That's what it means. Buddhaya, Vishuddhaya Yuktaha, yoked with pure understanding means thoroughly understanding the scriptures through Shravanam and Mananam. Understood? You understood the meaning very well. So he has condensed Shravanam and Mananam in these three words. Buddhaya, Vishuddhaya Yuktaha, Dhriti Atmanam Niyamya cha, with the mind. Atmanam here refers to the mind. Dhriti, with restraint. Niyamya means restraint. Dhriti means firmly. With the mind restrained firmly by willpower. Shabdadin Vishayan Tyaktva. Shabda Adi Vishayat, relinquishing sense objects of sound, etc. So Adi means sound. Shabda Vishaya Adi. Shabda Vishaya Adi means sound objects, etc. Relinquishing, Tyaktva, relinquishing, Ragadvesha Vyudasya cha, and abandoning Raga and Dvesha, craving and aversion. Okay. Nididhyasanam primarily consists of dwelling upon the teaching. So, with the mind restrained firmly, relinquishing the sense objects, abandoning craving and aversion, even though we know the essence of the teaching, we dwell upon it so it enters every cell of our personality. Krishna does not give all these instructions in an orderly manner. In the 6th chapter also, he did not maintain an order. Here also, he does not maintain an order. We only have to reshuffle. So, firstly, we have to take care of Annamaya Kosha, then gradually come to Pranamaya Kosha, come to Manomaya Kosha, and then we come to Vijnanamaya Kosha. It's a gradual process. Krishna does not concentrate on this in any order. In the 6th chapter, we saw that. How the different stages. So you have to go back to the 6th chapter if you want to know more. Okay. So there Bhagavan has talked about all these orders in a very direct fashion. Okay. Okay. Then continuing, Vivikta sevi lagvashi yatabakaya manasaha dhyana yoga paro nityam vairagyam samupashritaha dwelling in a secluded place. Vivikta Sevi means dwelling in a secluded place. Lag Ashinam, eating. Lagu Ashinam means eating limited amounts of food. See how important food is for the mind to become focused. Lagvashi Yata Vak Kaya Manasaha. Yati means control. Yata Vak Kaya Manasaha. Vak is speech, Kaya is body, Manasaha is mind. Controlling the speech, body, and mind. Dhyana Yoga Paro Nityam. Engaged in meditation, always Dhyana Yoga. Vairagyam Samupashritaha, taking to dispassion. Then Bhagavan continues. Ahankaram palam tarpam kamam krodham parigraham. Having abandoned ahankara, ego. Balam, here balam means power, but here it means desire for more and more power. Dharpam, arrogance. Kamam, lust. Krodham, anger. Parigraham, covetousness. Vimuchya, having abandoned. Nirmamaha means free from the notion of mind. Shantaha, being peaceful. That person, Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate, is fit for attaining Brahman. Okay. So the 6 topics that are discussed in Vedanta, Bhagavan has kind of condensed. It is the Jiva Swarupam, it is the Ishvara Swarupam, Jagat Swarupam. This is what you do Shravanam, Manan, Nididhyasanam on. These are the topics which you have to internalize. Jiva, nature of the individual. Ishvara Swarupam, nature of God. Jagat Swarupam, nature of the world. Bandha Swarupam, the nature of samsara. Moksha Swarupam, the nature of moksha. And sadhana, the method by which you go from bondage to liberation. So individual consists of the koshas, the different layers. Pranamaya kosha, Annamaya kosha, Pranamaya kosha, Manomaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha, and Anandamaya kosha. And then there's Avastatrayam, the 3 states. Jagrata avastha, waking. Swapna avastha, dreaming. Shushupti avastha, deep sleep. And then there's final, the Turiya, that's the consciousness. Okay. And then there's Shariratrayam, Stula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram, that is the gross body. The Sukshma Shariram is the mind, prana, all that. There are 17 or 19 aspects. And Karana Shariram, the causal body. Do you remember that? Everybody? These 3 bodies, Stula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram, Karana Shariram. Yeah? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah? Yeah, okay. So, and then Bhagavan is the Nimitta and the Upadana Karana. They're like a spider, Urna Nabi is the Bhagavan is the instrumental cause and also the material cause. Like a spider providing its own web and it weaves the web, Bhagavan does that. So just pure consciousness, that's the instrumental cause. The matter, that is the Bhagavan, manifests this Maya as the universe. And the universe consists of the Panchabhuta, Shrishti, Panchikaranam. It means how the 5 subtle elements transform into the gross elements and so on. These are the topics in Vedanta on which one has to do Nididhyasanam to individualize. Once you get the full knowledge, then moksha. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samasarpeshu bhuteshu matbhaktim labate param. Becoming Brahman, Brahma bhutaha, becoming Brahman, prasanna atma, the serene minded. So Bhagavan is describing what happens after they attain the supreme devotion is continued in this verse. Becoming Brahman, prasanna atma, na shochati, does not, neither grieves, na kankshati, nor craves for things, sense objects, and samaha sarveshu bhuteshu, being the same towards all beings, sarva bhutam, all beings, madbhaktim labate param, they attain supreme param bhaktim, Mad Param Bhakti, supreme devotion unto me. Okay. In what way this Jivan Mukti will be indicated in this life, and that Krishna talks about here. So once one has attained Brahman, so this question, what happens to this person who has been liberated? This is called Jivan Mukti. That is, you are liberated while alive. Okay, so Jivan Mukti is when you are just in this sadhyo, immediate liberated, but you have the prarabdha karma, so you have to continue living the rest of this life till the karmas get exhausted. But you are liberated. The body will feel pain. You have to suffer some karma. You have the baggage. You can't escape. So body may have pain. You have to suffer, but internally, you know, you are the consciousness. You're not suffering. The body has to go through that. So this is indicated here, how Jivan Mukti will be indicated in one's life after one has attained this Brahmajnanam. And what is the main indication? Prasanna Atma, indication of Jivan Mukti is general quietude of the mind, like a Shanta Samudra, like a calm ocean, a calm lake. Mind is predominantly Shanta. Manas Shantihi is the first indication. Here, the word Atma means the mind. And not only that, na shochati, this person is not easily disturbed, not pained, not overpowered by sorrow. And in the why he's saying, because the first teaching of the Bhagavad Gita 2.11, that's where the teaching starts. Bhagavan says, Ashochan anvashocastvam prajnavadancha bhashase gatasu nagatasunshcha nanushocanti pandita. The wise do not grieve. Na anushocanti pandita. And the same word is used. Na shochati, na kankshati. Okay? Kankshati, freedom from binding desire. Second indication of Jivan Muktihi. Third indication is Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu. That person enjoys a mind which looks upon everyone objectively. Subjective colorations are removed. When I look at the world from the Ahankara standpoint, from individuality, I become judgmental, but this person is not. And then the fifth chapter, we saw this, right? Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Shwapake Cha Pandita Samadarshinaha. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane, a Brahmana who is endowed with the qualities of Vidya, knowledge, and Vinaya, humility. This person looks at Gavi or Brahmana, a Gavi. Gavi is a cow, a Brahmana, a cow, a Hastini, a she-elephant, Shuni, a dog, Shwapaka, eater of dog's meat. All these, this person looks equally because they know what is inside is the consciousness. Krishna says, Aram Bhaktim Labate, that person attains the highest form of bhakti. In the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita also, it was called Jnani Bhakti. So, Chatur Vida Bhajante Mam Jana Sukriti Norjuna Arto Jignasu Artati Jnani Cha Bharatarshaba. 4 types of devotees. Bhagavan says, Artaha, afflicted, Jignasu, one who wants knowledge, Artarthi, one who wants material wealth, and Jnani. And Tesham Jnani Nitya Yukto Ekabhaktir Vishishyate. The Jnani is the highest bhakta. This is called Advaita Bhakti. Advaita Bhakti, it seems, doesn't distinguish. It is Advaitam, doesn't separate. It is one because it's the same consciousness that is there in everything. It looks to be wrapped with something else, this body and the mind, but internally, that is its consciousness. That's what makes everything come alive. Okay? So, So that is Bhagavan. Now, two more shlokas in this. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tatvatah tato mam tatvato jnatva vishate tadanantaram. Bhaktya, by devotion, mam abhijanati tatvatah, they know me in essence. Mam abhijanati means know me. Tatvatah, in essence. By devotion, they know me in essence. And what? Yavan, what I am. Cha, and Yaha, who I am. Asmi, what and who I am, they know in essence. Tato mam tatvato nyatva, mam tatvato nyatva, after knowing me in essence, vishate tad anantaram, they enter me. Tad anantaram means immediately, soon after that, they enter me. Once they know me in essence, they enter me. In the previous shloka, Krishna completed the topic of meditation. And with the pala shruti, palam is jivan mukti. What is jivan mukti? That is, he says, the frequency, intensity, and recovery period should reduce with regard to disturbances in life situation. This is jivan mukti. Jnanam, you may get quickly, relatively quickly, but assimilation and transformation is a gradual process. Having talked about nididhyasanam palam, now in the 54th word, Krishna summarizes that nididhyasanam. This is the consolidating verse. Bham abhijanati, a person gets Ishvara Jnana Nishta. When Jnani gains the knowledge of Ishvara, Krishna says he gains the knowledge of both the higher form of God as well as the lower form of God. Okay, Ishvara in the higher nature in the 7th chapter we saw is called, what is the higher nature of Ishvara called in the 7th chapter? Anybody? See, this is a summary chapter, so it's a good opportunity for you to go back and read upon all that. So what's the higher form of Ishvara called in the 7th chapter? You can go look into your computer and tell me too.
Akshara Brahman?
Yes, it is Akshara Brahman. It's called Para Prakriti in the 7th chapter. And Apara Prakriti is the lower form. Aparekamitasvanjam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagat. So the higher form is the pure consciousness. The lower form is this consciousness plus Maya, the Saguna Brahman, this is Saguna Ishvara, that is with a form, Saguna, like Krishna, Rama, that's the lower form. Okay. Tat Anantaram, as a consequence of this Nirguna Ishvara Jnanam, Mam Vishate, that person enters me, and because once one transcends the time and space and comes to the Chaitanyam, the consciousness, which is beyond time and space, there's nothing to divide one. It's not like a person is entering, there's in time and space. There's no time and space, because consciousness is beyond time and space. And that person just merges. Okay, so this is we finished the concluding verse of the Jnana Yoga part. Now we will enter the Bhakti Yoga part. Okay, so Bhakti, as I said, is not a separate sadhana. It covers aspects of both Karma and Jnana Yoga. Vedas do not use the term Bhakti. Okay, it's only in the Bhagavad Gita it's used. So Bhakti, Swamiji says, it's like an express train to travel through Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. Remember, there are only two yogas. Okay, Bhagavan has said this: Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. Okay, so far you heard the wisdom of Sankhya. Now Buddhi Yogam Tumam Shunu. Okay, but in the 2nd chapter, Bhagavan says that. Okay, now this bhakti is something that straddles both karma and jnana yoga. Okay, let me pull that verse. Okay, I'll do that later. Bhakti consists of various sadhanas in karma yoga and jnana yoga. The highest form of bhakti is jnana. So Bhagavan says, Chaturvida bhajante mam, and of this, jnani is the highest form of bhakta. Jnani atmaiva me matam. Astita sahi yuktatma mameva nuttamam gatim. So bhakti is like a express vehicle to travel through karma yoga and jnana yoga. Once you have bhakti, you go through this very fast. That is bhakti. That is devotion. So people ask if you, so we've used this example before, right? We are like the water. We are like a wave, right? So jiva is a small wave and the ocean is huge, but there's a commonness. What is the content of both? It's water. That's the consciousness. Consciousness is like water. The ocean is like Ishvara. The jiva is like a small wave. Wave looks small compared to the ocean, but it is what? It is water, right? Now, the question you will ask is, how can a wave compare itself to a huge water? How can I, if you say that you are that consciousness, how can I worship myself? It is possible. You see the awe of this entire thing, which is called God, which is giving you that consciousness. That awe is called bhakti. Do you understand? It's not like you're worshipping yourself. Aham Brahmasmi, that's true. But you look at this awe, this huge thing that I am a part of. This huge, I am this water, which is this huge thing. I belong to that thing. So you have awe and inspiration. Okay. Sarva karmanyapi sada kurvano madhyapashrayah matprasadat avapnoti shashvatam padam avyayam. Kurvanaha, by doing all actions, sarva karmani, all actions, api, whatsoever they be, so mad vyapashraya, always taking refuge in me, mat prasadat, by my grace, apnoti, these people will reach what? The shashvatam padam avyayam, the eternal, and avyayam means undecayed. Shashvatam means eternal, undecaying abode. So with the previous verse, the Jnana Yoga topic emphasizing Nididhyasanam Pradhana Jnana Yoga topic is over. It started from verse 50. Now listening to the Nididhyasanam and giving up Ahankara Abhimana and owning up to our higher nature and sitting in meditation for a long time, hearing all these things, some of these seekers feel that they are also, some people feel that all these things are too high for me, I can't reach. So in Shlokas 56 to 62, Bhagavan is coming down to bhakti. He's saying this karma yoga, jnana bhakti straddles both, and this karma yoga form of bhakti, he is karma yoga, Bhagavan has summarized in 41 to 46, but he's again doing a slight emphasis on the karma yoga bhakti, and through he's doing this so people don't feel overwhelmed. Krishna is highlighting the attitude of bhakti so they can course through the karma yoga and jnana yoga path and not be scared. We'll do one more and stop. Chetasa sarva karmani mayi sanjasya matparaha buddhi yogam upashritya machitta satatam bhava. And mentally resigning all actions to me, thinking of me as the supreme goal, resorting to karma yoga. Karma yoga here means yoga of buddhi yoga. So buddhi yoga means yoga of right understanding, remaining the mind, with the mind always fixed in me. So this buddhi yoga thing is already, we saw it's been talked about in the 39th. Remember, this is the verse. Esha te bhikita sankhe buddhi yogam tvimam shruno bhutya yukto yaya partha karma bandham prahasyasi. So buddhi yoga means yoga of right understanding through action. So that is karma yoga. So there are only two yogas. Bhagavan says, so far I told you the yoga of Sankhya, the knowledge of the Atma, or the Jnana yoga. Now I am going to tell you the the buddhi yoga, which is, he clearly says, karma bandham prahasyasi. So this is karma yoga. By doing karma yoga, you cut through the bonds of karma. Okay, so buddhi yoga is a term used for karma yoga. Understood? Okay, so with this, we shall stop the recording.